All right, folks, welcome back to the Crisis Report. It is November 23rd, 2025. Thanks to all who were watching the videos over on Prepper Now and some of the things I did as we went to New York and enjoyed a weekend before, well, a lot of things were about to change. So a few years ago when I used to do this, I would end with a bunch of financial news and stuff. I'm starting to get back into that. And there's a reason for it. It's not doing too well out there. Also, this one is entitled Venezuela Strike Imminent because basically it looks like it is it's coming. So we're going to make that case for you. And appreciate you guys watching the video yesterday. Usual stuff. Know one thing. I will never use AI. I will never be AI. I will always be me. I will always have a human element of this. I will always do this myself, personally, with my hands, and it will never be done by taking shortcuts or doing anything like that. I've been thinking a lot about all that as of late, and I think as we push for more AI and more intervention from digital sources, an authenticity is going to be lost. And so I'm going to be not joining in on all that. And I will always remain authentic in what I do, what I say, how I am, and what I tell you. And, I won't have crazy, beautiful graphics and pictures that are, computer generated or anything. You're going to get words, you're going to get due diligence, and you're going to get an entire, just all kinds of information in a very short period. So one guy said, man, you're all over the place. It's like, yeah, I am all over the place because there's a lot of places to go. So we're going to be covering a lot of that tonight, and I will always keep it real, Zorro. Thank you. And I will stand in my truth. So that's where we're at. You guys have been around. You know that things for me in the last week to 10 days have changed in a very positive way. And through that, there's kind of I don't know. My propensity to take crap is pretty much nil at this time. So we're just going to bring it. We're going to tell it. We're going to say it. And from there, where the cards may fall, they will. All right, friends, here we go. This is your Crisis Report for November 23rd, 2025. We are brought to you by Augusta Precious Metals. We appreciate you very much for being here. JP Morgan, Chase, Citi, Morgan Stanley are among the firms alerted by Citus AMC that their client data list may have been compromised. Hundreds of children will receive puberty blockers in the first NHS approved experiment of its kind. They are incorrect. This is a UK-based thing, but it has been reported by The Guardian. 300 kids will get puberty blockers in a study, if you want to call it that. Journalist Emerald Robinson says a national security source confirmed that the Macron family has threatened against Candace Owens and that they are real. President Trump reposted and hinted that he's ready to go after those traitorous sons of bees. First edition at the very least. These are the people that from the Democrat Party that posted videos saying that people should not follow orders of the commander-in-chief, which is highly illegal because if they're legal orders, they are not allowed to do that, and they're assuming that what Trump is putting out there are illegal orders, and that's just simply not true. Tyson Foods announced it will close one of the country's largest beef plants after cattle supplies have dropped to their lowest levels in nearly 75 years. President Trump signals he is open to supporting a ban on foreign-born citizens from holding elected office. I think that's an excellent idea. Candace Owens says she has formally notified federal officials, including the White House, about what she describes as a coordinated hit or plot against her for some nation states, and claiming that she has evidence. I would name them, but it will hinder the video. Funny how a certain country was left out, and my video got twice as many views almost last one. Germany, more and more individuals are debanked for political reasons. A new report by the NZZ has revealed, yes, they don't want the truth. Major insurers, including AIG and Great American, are asking U.S. regulators for permission to exclude AI-related liabilities from corporate policies. It's because, well, they're being open to liability from AI. Slovenia votes to reject a law legalizing assisted dying. The law was previously approved by Parliament after a 2024 referendum. Sinisa Karan wins the presidential election in Bosnia after former President Milorad Dodik was banned from politics for 6 years. The opposition plans to appeal the results, citing irregularities. White House releases a joint statement about talks in Geneva on the U.S. peace proposal. As a result of the discussions, the parties drafted an updated and refined peace framework. In Italy, environmental activists have dumped large amounts of supposedly safe paint into rivers. The Venetian Grand Canal and several other bodies of water have turned acid green. Organization Extinction Rebellion is responsible for the incident. Its representative told Radio France Internationale that the aim of the action was to draw attention to the outcomes of the UN climate conference in Brazil. According to her, Italy is amongst the countries that are blocking the most ambitious proposals. In response, vandals have poured paint into various waters in Venice, Bologna, Genoa, and Taranto. Thousands of MAGA-aligned influencer accounts on X and large political pages that claim to be based in the U.S. are now being investigated and exposed, with many of them traced to India, Nigeria, and other countries. There are also a massive number of Indians pretending to be Israelis, Russians, and so on. Looks like that Elon Musk has found the perfect way to take down a lot of the bots, and there are a lot of bots out there. X has activated locations last night which showed that U.S. government accounts like the DHS opened and were operating from a certain country in the Middle East with a blue and white star. Then 20 minutes later, they deactivated the feature, and today those accounts are exempt from the location feature. Ceasefire is dead in the Middle East. There were strikes on Beirut, Lebanon. No evacuation orders were given. Europe has announced a counterproposal to Trump's 28-point Russia-Ukraine peace plan, according to the Telegraph. Europe rejects the point number 6, no restrictions on the size of the Ukrainian military. Point number 7, Ukraine is free to join NATO, therefore not forced to be neutral. Point number 8, Ukraine is free to invite friendly forces. And point number 21, an immediate ceasefire, no land exchanges will take place with the freezing of the front lines as they currently are. Good luck with that. U.S. poised to launch a new phase of Venezuela-related operations in the coming days. Looks like it's time up for the Maduro government, and what will happen this week will happen this week. Because various country diplomats are leaving Venezuela, there are reports of military buildup at various government buildings near Caracas. Turkish Airlines and others, I think there's 8 or 9 now, have suspended their flights to and from Venezuela. So, as it pertains to the thing in the Middle East, in Eastern Europe, Marco Rubio is Secretary of State, National Security Advisor. He's now in Geneva with the U.S. Army Secretary negotiating with the Ukrainians on what is largely being seen as a document that halts the fighting in Ukraine, giving Russia concessions like control of all of their territory that they have won. Military does not yet control and barring. Pokrovsk has fallen tonight, by the way. They're barred from future membership in NATO. Talks in Geneva are taking place on the eve of what appears to be a massive effort by the U.S. to remove Maduro from oil-rich Venezuela. Rubio leading talks after denying to U.S. senators that the Ukraine plan was a U.S. plan, implying it was a Russian plan, and then denying, he said so in a tweet, today while in Geneva. This is reports of diplomats leaving Caracas, flights being canceled due to massive U.S. military buildup off of Venezuela's shores, and plans for the U.S. to begin CIA-led covert ops and alleged plans to drop flyers demanding Maduro step down, in other words, a regime change Rubio has long advocated for. The Ukraine deal appears to be linked to the looming U.S. sanctions in Venezuela based on timing and public reporting. It's coming. Japan plans to deploy medium-range missiles on Yonaguni Island, just 110 kilometers from Taiwan. Tether has become one of the largest gold holders in the world per Bloomberg. Bitcoin has fallen under 86,000. Unsure where it is now. Don't care. Peter Schiff says that Bitcoin has no future. A volcano erupted for the first time in literally thousands of years in Ethiopia. Everything's normal, though. 6 airlines canceled Venezuela flights after a U.S. warning. 38 worshippers seized by gunmen from Nigeria church have been rescued, according to the president. That's good. Need more, all of them, especially the 300-plus kids that were taken the other day. It's bad. Sudan is one of Africa's leading gold producers with deposits across the northeast, center, and south. Since the war began, and Sudan has had a terrible civil war, control over gold mines and trade routes has become a critical source of funding for both sides. Maduro's official account shows that it is from the United States and on United States territory. There are a lot of these accounts being outed, and they're just in strange places. One such instance would be Alex Soros. You might know him. His father is a gargoyle. He has his account from Nigeria. Viva la Venezuela libre, popular y soberana, Yankees y fuera del Caribe. Party for Socialism and Liberation, HQ, Chicago, Illinois, United States of America. Yes, that's right. Venezuela's Party for Socialism and Liberation is out of Chicago, which actually doesn't surprise me. Locals report that Venezuelan Vice President Delcy Rodriguez's house in Los Palos Grandes in Caracas, 12 vans and 6 motorcycles have just left in a convoy for an undisclosed location, presumably bunkers in a mountainous area of Mérida Range. It happens just hours before the deadline for the terrorism designation of the Cartel de los Soles by the United States government. Some hours ago, a United States Air Force Boeing C-17A Globemaster III was spotted arriving in Puerto Rico in another airlift sortie. United States media has reported that the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dan Raisin Kane, will travel to Puerto Rico tomorrow, November 24th, to engage with service members in Southcom. Per notice comes as Trump's campaign against drug cartels shows signs of an imminent escalation. And that, my friends, is why we are calling this what we are, as in Venezuela strike imminent. Now on to the economy, and it's a big fat turd. Things are not going well. We went to New York this weekend and saw it live and in person. Now, of course, New York is always busy, but there's some interesting things that we saw. First of all, the Nike store has $270 pairs of shoes on average. I don't know about you, but I can't buy $270 shoes. I got my last pair of shoes secondhand for $30, and I'll continue to do that. Also, a lot of the street carts and food carts are now cashless. So one of my favorite carts we go to, the guy said, hey, cash, you get a discount. I said, cash is king. He looked at me, smiled, and said, yeah, cash is king. Friends, cash is king. All right, here we go. This is your economics portion of the crisis report. There are several signs that the employment in home construction is about to hit the skids. Elevated stock of unsold homes means home builders will need to throttle back on breaking new ground and focus on selling the inventory they have on hand. Building permits also indicate a potential weakness in future construction activity. Add this up, and it's clear that the industry is likely holding on to too many workers relative to its current activity levels, which basically means they're going to be getting rid of people or firing, layoffs. Key events this week, and there's a lot of them. September PPI inflation data Tuesday, September retail sales data Tuesday, November CB consumer confidence data Tuesday, October pending home sales data Tuesday, United States quarter 3 2025 GDP data Wednesday, and September durable goods orders data. United States manufacturing employment continues to decline. The U.S. economy lost 6,000 manufacturing jobs in September, marking the 5th consecutive monthly contraction. During this period, manufacturing jobs have dropped 58,000 to 12.71 million, lowest since March 2022. The United States job market is weakening beneath the surface. U.S. private payrolls declined 9,000 in September when excluding leisure, hospitality, education, and healthcare sectors. This comes despite a total private payroll addition of 97,000 plus. Also marks the 5th consecutive. Well, that's the beautiful thing about this. You've got all the links in this thing right there. You click on that sucker on the Substack and the crisis report there, and you can follow these things. It's probably the 5th consecutive month of declines. So, but anyway, all this is in the Substack if you'd like to find it and follow it yourself. Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, has been shut down, no longer exists, according to Trump administration officials. By the way, the United States has officially added $2.1 trillion of debt since the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, was formed on January 20th. That is $6.5 billion per day for 326 days in a row. And finally, China is experiencing an unprecedented decline in investment. Fixed asset investment in China fell 1.7% year over year during the first 10 months of 2025, worst decline on record. In October alone, investment dropped 12%. That marks the 5th consecutive monthly decline. Why? Because everything is really not good right now. So, Arc Living, good to see you, my friend. Oh, it's the city life there. It's we had fun, but we would never live there. I'll just put it to you that way. So we like visiting and then leaving. Other than that, friends, that is your crisis report for November 23rd, 2025. You can get all of this, you can get all this on Substack, of course. Links in the description for other places you can find and support the channel, like Arc Living, who is a member, and of course others we have that are supporting the cause, like Water Tiger, J Flow, and more. All this really helps. Like I said at the beginning of this, guys, I'm not going to go and rely on AI. I am one guy with numerous places I go and get information. I put it together, I tabulate it, and I put it in a one place, one size, just get it done kind of thing. So you don't have to spend your time doom scrolling, and you can get all of this information in about 20 to 30 minutes by just strapping on the earbuds, listening, getting everything, usually 12 to 24 hours before everybody else. If you're listening to channels that are blowing up, then you're doing it. You're not doing it wrong, but a honeypot is a honeypot. This channel is hindered in ways that I don't even think people fully understand. And honestly, at this point, I wear this with a badge of courage. I love it. I hate that I have to fight so hard, but honestly, I don't care anymore. So, if you like raw, just truth on everything and put into one nice big tabulated news kind of show, Yeah, I'm not going to get to 10,000 views like some of these other channels, but I can assure you, you're going to know more, you're going to know quicker, and you're going to know better from what I'm putting out here, with the exception of a few. There's some good ones. I like Bear. I like his briefs. I like S2 Underground. Poplar's got some good stuff. But other than that, if you want a whole lot of info in a little bit of time, because you don't got the time to go out there and BS around, this is the place for you. So please support the channel, and we appreciate you. All right, friends, God bless. We will see you on the next one. We're brought to you by Augusta Precious Metals. If you'd like to put your IRA or 401k into gold, then they're the company to do so. They have a link in the description, and they are Better Business Bureau rated, very good at what they do. They're not like the others. They actually do it in the way you're supposed to do it. But set up an informational with them, and they will tell you all about it themselves. And then if you don't like it, you don't have to be obligated. All right, friends, God bless. We will see you on the next one. Have a great night.